Hello, everybody. Welcome to another the MakeCode Arcade Advanced stream. I'm Richard Archer of the MakeCode Forum.
Oh, I'm Joey at J1 on the MakeCode Forum.
And I'm Thomas at Sparks on the MakeCode Forum.
And, I don't know, guys, if we should keep going with this game or not. It's got a lot that's interesting, but it's also kind of a bit of a mess, I feel like.
Is it a play as 50 characters platformer?
So that was the initial idea, but we kind of ended up going in a different direction, where we're like, okay, let's just have them follow you, and we wrote some AI for having them follow you, and basically they follow you with Zelda in 64 rules. So that
Okay.
if they reach an edge, they jump,
Okay.
and they just kind of follow you around, which is interesting, and I mean it's satisfying to watch these little guys go. But also, I don't know if we're going to be able to make this into a compelling game unless we just straight up do pathfinding. Because
to be clear for Joey, the original idea was multiplayer game where you're trying to steal meeples from the other person.
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, what if you made a original Mario level, like a monkey at the top sending boulders down? Could that be compelling?
Did you just call Donkey Kong original Mario? I mean, I guess it is.
I did, yeah, but like I don't know. You are right there. But like when I think of it, I was thinking of Mario. Like I was thinking of the meeples as the important character, so I was saying Mario. But you are right. That is a ridiculous thing for me to say.
Yeah. So yeah, the problem I see with it is mainly just the way that these meeples move right now, because we tried to come up with like different simple rules we could have for this meeple AI, and originally we were thinking we would make them intentionally stupid so that they would die. Mm-hmm. And the thing is, though, that when we have these simple rules, it's so hard for them to get them to do what you want, to do what you expect them to do. Like, here's an example. All right, so I have these guys down. I'm going to take these guys down with me, right? Oh no, look, that guy jumped up there. And if you get your meeples up to this top area, it basically becomes impossible to have them leave.
Mm-hmm. I mean, that would work with the Donkey Kong level, though, right? Like, them being stupid and not doing what you want is kind of the joy of the game. And like you win the level by surviving, and then you get bonus points off of however many you manage to somehow steer into there.
Well, so that kind of brings us to what this game originally was. So originally we didn't have this follow-in logic, right? Yeah. This was a game we made on stream a long time ago, Joey. I don't know if you remember it, but you controlled like 50 guys with one set of controls.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's better suited to the Donkey Kong style game.
Maybe.
Right? And that's kind of what it ended up being. So the idea was you're moving all of your characters at once, and then, you're trying to keep them from death, mm-hmm. Which is hard to do because they all move at slightly different speeds and slightly different jumping things. Which makes me wonder, I wonder if we just redid that game, but with these 4x4 tile maps, would we end up with something more fun? Because one of the annoying things about that game was the camera and stuff.
Yeah.
Could be, yeah.
Sure, that'd be fun.
I don't know. I've grown fond of these meeples, but I'm struggling with what to do that would not be extremely complicated to,
What if we made it so it's actually good when they die, because it zooms in on them and it gives them a little memorial, but when it zooms in, you see that each of them has a unique hat. So you can't see it in this because they're like 3 pixels tall and that's it. But when they like zoom in, you see, oh, this one had a cowboy hat. That was such a good surprise. I'm kind of glad they died, so I got to see that.
One thing you can say about Joey is he's got ideas. All right.
Got ideas.
They're there. Yeah. No, you're making me think of, did you ever play Humanity for the PS5? Great game.
I skipped that one. I meant to play it, but I don't know. I just didn't.
Yeah, it's super good. But Humanity is basically a puzzle game where you have a bunch of humans walking around, and you play as a Shiba Inu who guides them to goals. It's a puzzle game. And it's awesome. It's super clever. It's extremely well presented. And the soundtrack is amazing. It's all great. I highly recommend it. But you can basically unlock different little outfits and things for your humans that walk around, and they're all procedurally generated. So you'll have them, and they'll all have hats or stuff like that. It's just very charming.
Perfect.
Okay. All right. So, oh, whoops. Hey, get back over here.
Oh.
There you go. Come on. There you go. All right. I accidentally hit a keyboard shortcut as I was putting my hand down. All right. So, let's keep this game around, and if inspiration strikes us, we can come back to it. But I kind of want to go and do the simpler thing, which, I mean, on the plus side, should be extremely easy to code. So we've already, let me go ahead and add that extension I made, which is ricknull/arcade-teeny tiny tile maps. And once again, this only works in beta, so FYI. And don't use beta. So don't use this extension that I'm using right now. Don't be a Richard. Be a Thomas or a Joey.
Yeah, you should make all your meeples have hats. That's what Richard's saying.
Yeah, it's very important.
I don't want our color palette though, but I don't think I can grab it, right? Like we don't copy over the color palettes from between projects.
Oh, it's funky.
This is a new wrinkle. This isn't supposed to do this, right?
Nope.
No.
Guess that's a bug for beta.
Looks like the drop downs constrained to the height of the window instead of the height of the biggest inner element.
Yeah. All right. We'll take this one. A. And I'm going to go and recreate our single tile. You know what? This might actually be the same as the thing that I copied over by hand. Seeing as how Joey was pulling from the same list I was, it's a very strong possibility.
It's funny. It's definitely similar. I think this one has more blues in it.
We might have just chosen a different color to omit.
Hmm.
It is annoying that color palettes are 16 colors and we only have functionally,
15, and then
15.
the secret 16th color.
Yeah.
Yeah, this one's maybe a bit more saturated. It's similar, though. The reason I said that it might be was because it's called Sweet, and the palette that I copied was called the Sweetie 16.
I think that's it.
Okay, yeah. So I think it is the same, and maybe I just messed up with one of the blues.
I could have messed up with one of the blues too. I didn't.
Your blue looks better though, so I believe that you did it correctly. This blue is nicer than the blue I had in the game. Anyway. Okay, so let's speed code this. Create meeple. Gonna take in an X and a Y. There we go. Here we go. We're going to make a few more tiles. So I want to have a spike, basically. We'll make these spikes red with blood. Oh, kind of hard to do a spike with 4x4. Huh. Never really thought about this before, I guess. But yeah, you kind of Just
like
some
a thumbtack on
limitations
the ground.
here. I guess this kind of works, and then maybe.
That looks dangerous.
Yeah, let's do a different color. Like that. Maybe it needs to be darker. This back part. I kind of want to just do this. Those still look spiky.
Not as spiky, but the player can learn.
That's true.
I wondered about swapping the light and dark.
Sure, we can try that.
Although I think what you had there was pretty decent, actually.
But this?
Yeah.
This does look better, doesn't it? All right, we'll go with that. Okay. Oh, and this would be fun. I also want to do conveyor belts. So let's go ahead and do that. I like animating conveyor belts. This will be fun to see if I can do in 4x4. Okay, we're going to do the, let's make it this. We're going to do like this. Basically, and the idea is you want to move the gaps in opposite directions and then keep going until it loops. Which luckily is very few frames with 4x4. Okay, so the idea is that you have two kind of chains moving, and then once we start putting these together, they'll look like it's going, and then we have to do the ends. And we're going to make this much faster, so that. All right. To get this in the game, we're going to go ahead and make some conveyor belt blocks, which are going to look like, well, normally I would draw an arrow, but again, the 4x4 thing kind of tripping me up. There we go. That's kind of an arrow. Yeah. Oh no, that's no good.
R and L maybe.
Sure. I don't think we can do that.
It's an R.
Let's trash that. Duplicate this and make this one an L, like that. All right. Cool. And we're going to add Joey's jwonderl/arcade sprite util. Hooray. And then do a render on the index. Ignore this error. I'm going to pull this out. And we're going to say, oh, I want to add talutil also. Arcade talutil. There we go. And I just want this block. And we're going to say if the tile at this location is R, then we're going to draw a frame from this at this location. So let's go ahead and go into, again, sprite utils. We want to grab the draw image to image. We're going to put this inside of an array get value at block, like that. And want to make this screen. And this is going to be column times 4, row times 4. So there. Well, how many frames is this? 4. That makes sense. So we're going to do time since start, and then I need a remainder of, and then I need a divide, and oh no, I need an integer divide actually. Integer divide. There we go. Okay, so we're going to take this integer divide, we're going to stick it in here, we're going to make this 4. We're going to divide our time since start by whatever we want the duration for each frame to be. So let's just make it 50. That's what we had in the animation editor. And now we should see this thing going. There you go. It kind of works even without having an end cap, just because of how many pixels we're dealing with.
I'm not actually sure the end cap will make it better, to be honest.
Yeah, it kind of just has an end cap built in. I mean, it might look slightly better, but
yeah, I mean, you can try it, but
yeah, we can try it. But let's do the other one. So if the tile location is L, then we're going to do the same thing, except we want to reverse the order. So we can do that by just doing 3 minus this. And there you go. Now it's going in the opposite direction. Cool. Okay. Well, that was easy. All right. Let's go ahead and create a meeple. So we're going to make these guys 2 by 3. And we want to give them, I don't know, we need to be able to tell them apart when they're in a group. So it's probably a good idea to make them all different colors like we did last time.
Or different bottom color with the top color, the hat. 2 pixel body, 1 pixel hat.
Sure. Here, you know what we'll do? Let's just let's grab an animation block. We'll draw a bunch. So we're gonna do 2.
Oh, we're not just gonna randomly make them? Okay.
By 3. Yeah, we kept screwing up the random making last time, so.
Oh, okay. That's fair enough.
There's a hat. Oh, wait, can't do the background color. There's a hat. It's more like this is the shirt and a neck, but that's cool too.
A shirt and a neck? Are you saying they don't have any heads?
Sorry, okay, you know what I meant.
It's a little disconcerting, Richard, but okay.
That's better than this. It's got green. Just drawing meeples. You know how it is. All right, I think that's enough meeples. There we go. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and do images, arrays, and do pick random, get random value from, stick this in there, stick that right there. We're going to set their position to be X, Y, and let's go ahead and make a thing for gravity. We're going to set that to be 500 for now. And go ahead and set their gravity, which is the Y acceleration. Be equal to that. And just like before, we're going to give these guys a random jump height. And so to make that happen, we need to add the sprite data extension. This one. And let's just recreate our variables that we had. So we have, this time we'll do min jump height and max jump height. Okay, we're gonna make them jump 3 tiles-ish. We know 3 tiles is just 12. So we'll make them jump 4 tiles. So we'll do so anywhere from 16 to 20 is other way around. 16 to 20. And we're going to go ahead and set that as a number on them. So my sprite data jump height to number pick random from min jump height to max jump height. Cool. Okay. Now we need to turn on walls for all these tiles we got. So let's do that real quick. We're going to go into tile util. We're going to do a on tile map loaded. And let's grab inside of tile util a set wall on for all blank tile. There we go. This one. Turn that on. Make this. It's funny that we draw the grid as 4x4 for all of these. So when you have a 4x4 tile, you just get a gray square. So anyway, that's something for me to do, I guess. Fix. And then we want to turn it on for the conveyor belts also, but not for the spikes, because we're going to do overlaps with those guys. And then we need to go ahead and do a min max move speed. So let's go ahead and do that. Min move speed. Max move speed. And, oh, whoops, did it change by? I do that so often nowadays. I never used to do that. All right, then we're going to go from 40 to 50. I don't know. And let's go ahead and store that as a variable as well. Oh, right. I figured this out last time. I just can't mouse over the dropdown. All right. Min move speed. Max move speed. Looking good. And now let's just go ahead and turn controls on for this guy. So we're going to go ahead and do move my sprite with buttons. We're going to make the VY 0, and we're going to pass in their move speed. Cool. All right. There we go. Let's create a bunch of meeples. Repeat 50 times, not 590 times. Well, sure, 590 times.
It's gonna be a lot of meeples.
Work.
See what our frame rate thinks of
it will
that.
kill the simulator probably.
And we'll just put in some random XYs. Or, you know what, we'll just make the Y always be 1, and we'll do from 8 to 152. Okay. I'm sure this game is going to run with all the frames. There we go. Look at those guys.
Wow.
Hey, it's running better than I thought it would.
Wow, that is actually running better than I would have guessed.
I
guess if you don't add an overlap, I guess I do. If I recall correctly, I completely skip any sort of overlap detection logic, which is what usually kills the frames.
Let's make them jump. Yeah, that's going to be fun to look at. All right, if they're on the ground, we want to make them jump. So let's put an if in here. We're going to go to scene. We're going to do is hitting wall bottom. By the way, just to remind everybody, this is running on a fairly powerful gaming PC. So All right, but we want to do this for all the meeples. So we're going to do a for element of list and do array of all sprites of kind. Stick this in here, keep that as player, make this value is hitting wall bottom. Then we are going to set the VY on this guy to be, or we'll just use the sprite utils thing actually. Joey put my equation, my magic equation into a block.
Mm-hmm.
And we want to go and grab that jump height off of them. Cool. All right. I just want to see these guys jump, and then we'll put it down to a reasonable number. Whoop, 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 whoop.
There's so many more in each row than I realized.
Yeah, they're all just overlapping each other. So, all right. Now we're not gonna have 590 meeples. Sorry, guys.
Oh,
Let's do 100.
Still pretty good.
There we go. Now we're running at the max frame rate, I think. All right, cool. But we need to make it so that we do these conveyor belts and these whatchamacallits.
doodads and
Spikes.
whatchamacallits.
Yeah. So whatchamacallits, we'll do those first. So when a meeple overlaps a whatchamacallit, we are going to destroy them. And we're going to create a little ghost.
Should we leave behind a little tombstone? Or would that be too confusing?
I feel like that would be too confusing. We don't really have the pixels
Would-
to also convey a tombstone.
It would probably just look like a meeple
Yeah.
that is gray. Yeah.
All right, we are going to have to use extra pixels for this because I want to, make it look ghosty. So these guys will be 5 by 5 like that. Go. And yeah, that's good. Little ghost dude. By the way, let's change this variable. Temp sprites. And we'll use that same one down here. And we're going to set its position to be, no, because we changed the my sprite variable, it also changed the one in the toolbox. So now every time we pull it out from the toolbox, it says temp sprite. Oh, that's beautiful. I should always do that. Okay, but we want to make this sprite X, sprite Y, like that. So it's at the same location. This is a ghost, so obviously it needs to have the ghost flag turned on. And we're going to give this an animation. So let's go ahead and animate our temp sprite. We're going to just write this up. Or actually, there's one that does this. There. No, there isn't. Okay, we'll write our own. So we want to make them go like woo, right?
Mm-hmm.
So to do that, we're going to go into strings and I don't know, refer to a previous stream where I've explained SVG paths for the 10 millionth time. But basically, if you look up SVG paths, you can use that syntax to do this. And we're going to be using a quadratic curve to make this little curving thing happen. And a quadratic curve is a Q. We're going to use lowercase q because we want it to be relative to the current position of the sprite. You can see it's now erroring out because I have some meeples that are falling on spikes right here. Now you pass in 4 arguments to the Q command. The first 2 are the X and Y of what's called the control point. The next 2 are the end XY, and these are all relative to the position. So they'll be added to whatever the position of the sprite currently is. So for the control point, we want them to be either to the right or to the left. We want it to be halfway between where we're going and where we're ending. So we're going to set this to be, let's say, 5 pixels to the right. So that's positive 5x. And then we're going to go up 10 pixels, let's say. So we'll make it 5y or -5y. And then for the end destination, we are going to make it 0, and we're going to make this -10 because we wanted that to be halfway. And we're going to copy this. Oh, whoops. And paste it. And now we want to go in the opposite direction. So we're going to make this +5. Oh, sorry. No, leave that as -5, but make this one -5. So this should be going to the left ones, going to the right ones, which you can already see happening with these guys. So left, right. Yeah. And let's just copy and paste this one more time. There you go. Looks pretty good to me. And we will just make these guys have a lifespan of 2 seconds, so it automatically gets destroyed when the animation ends. Cool. Okay. So now we can go ahead and kill our little meeples. Oh, it's so sad. It's really satisfying to watch the ghosts go. All right. Cool. Okay, we need to do the conveyor belts now. So collapse blocks for my code. All right, we're going to do this inside of an on-game update. And what we're going to do is for each of our meeples. So let me actually go ahead and copy over this loop here. Oh, no, I don't want to copy that. Nope. This is something that annoys me with the new Blockly. I haven't figured out how to fix it yet, though. But if you right click and then drag and release the right click over something, it will select that thing in the thing. By the way, we moved our jump stuff into an on-game update. So now they're just all jumping for joy all the time, which is fun.
Oh.
Well, look how happy they are.
Go.
Yeah. All right.
This is what should happen when you finish a level.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So we want to make them move automatically when they're on this. So a little thing about the controller move block. So the controller move block actually happens at the start of a frame, and it sets the velocity on our sprites. So you can actually, inside of Sprite Utils, I actually made a block for doing stuff at different parts of the frame. So you can actually see in this dropdown everything that happens in the order it happens. So we have updates to controller, updates following sprites, updates controller sprites, runs physics, updates animations, blah, 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 blah. All this stuff happens every frame. So we want to run this and basically we want to add to the velocity of our sprite if they are on top of a conveyor belt. And this velocity, because it's being controlled by the controller block, will get reset every frame, at the beginning of every frame. So we don't have to worry about this like accumulating. So what we can do is just say, if we are on top of one that's going to the right, we are going to add to our velocity. If we are one that's going to the left, we're going to subtract from our x velocity, and that should all just work. So, all right, if they're hitting a wall bottom, then we are going to see, is that wall a conveyor belt? Now, this is where it gets a little bit tricky because our guys are only 2 pixels wide, but we do want to check both tiles that they are touching if they happen to be overlapping with 2 tiles. So as long as anything that they are overlapping is a conveyor belt, then we want them to be moved by that conveyor belt. That makes sense. So we're going to do 2 checks here. The first one is going to be the left of our sprite. So let's go ahead and grab the left of our sprite. And we are going to go into scene and grab a tile at location. Oh, not as wall. I want there we go. Actually, it might be easier to just do this. So on sprite of kind player hits wall location, I'm pretty sure this will fire for every wall tile you hit. So I think this will automatically handle that thing we were just talking about. So we're going to make this, if this is right, and this should run again after the controllers, and again, it'll get reset. So all of the stuff I already said, that still applies. Oh, not set. I want to change by. So we're going to change our VX. What's up, Joey?
I think this will.
Could you repeat what you had said for me there?
Oh, you're right. This will run while the physics is happening, so it won't.
Yeah. Okay.
It also wouldn't work if they jumped and hit their head on it. It would go the wrong way.
Whoa! Apparently, it did work. Whoa!
Oh.
I guess it works for the next frame because we applied the physics.
Are you pressing the
I feel
button?
like it's being cumulative here. Am I wrong?
Does look like it. Well, are you pressing down any button?
No. Do I have to make the?
Think.
Oh, I see. I thought it would clear the velocity if you weren't pressing any buttons.
It only interacts. Only changes when you on the frames that you press it down, hold it, or release it, if I recall correctly.
I see.
Normal static behavior is untouched.
Okay. Well, then we'll have to do this differently. All right. So, okay. We'll go ahead and make the behavior work like I originally thought it was. So we're going to go into our sprite utils. We're going to go ahead and run this code before the game engine updates the controller. We're going to go and loop over all of our meeples, and we are going to set their VX to 0. What am I looking for? I want to grab the for up loop right here. Go, and then I want to set the VX to 0, just like that. All right, so that should get rid of that behavior. And now we can see that this is working like we thought. So now this no longer works because it's being, this would have applied to the next frame, and this is getting cleared. Sorry, while I ban someone in chat.
Oh,
It's fun.
I'll ban him. I'll end.
Thank you.
Sorry, I was on another tab for a sec.
So what we're going to do now is back to what we were doing. So we're going to go to on-game update, which is kind of annoying. We'll go ahead and put this in here. We're going to go ahead and grab a for of like we were doing, stick this in here, toss this guy. We want to check the tile at the left of the sprite and the right of the sprite. So the row is just going to be, I believe, oh, we also need to check if they're on the ground. So let's go ahead and do this right here like that. Okay. So for the column, we are going to be grabbing the left of our sprite like this. Go ahead and stick our value in there. And we need to convert this into coordinates, column coordinates. So we're going to use an integer divide, and integer divided by the width of our tile, which is 4. So, and by 4, just like that. And we are going to make the row be the row of our sprites plus 1, because that will always be below. Like that. All right, let's see. Okay, so on-game update for each of our sprites. Okay, so we need to run this before the physics engine runs. So we're going to go ahead and do this inside of before runs physics, and we're going to stick this in here. There we go. Oh my God. Oh, sorry. Poor meeples. I did set this up so that they are starting
Cool.
out on the conveyor belt, and they are all just dumped into the spikes. Okay, let's go ahead and do the other one. So this is going to be the left tile, like that. And then for that, we're going to change it by -100, and we're going to go ahead and create a variable for this. So let's go ahead and make a conveyor belt speed. And we will set our conveyor belt speed to be not 100. Let's make it 50.
That was a new one. 10 seconds until before Twitch blocked the account. 10 seconds between me reporting them and them getting closed.
Oh, good job. All right, cool. Okay, so we have a slight issue right here. Well, then that's probably because we are not checking the right now. So we're only checking the left side when we also need to check the right side. So you can see that up on this one, we do successfully get dumped off, but down here we stop on the last pixel because we're only checking the left of the sprite, and we need to check the right of the sprite also to know if we're still hitting the tile. So what we're going to do is grab an or, it's maybe be better to just put this inside of a function at this point. Is on is above tile, and then we're going to pass in our meeple, and we're going to pass in the tile. And we are going to return, grab an or, grab a return, stick this in here, and then we need to convert this over to meeple, of course. And we want to pass in our tile right here. And then we're going to duplicate this. And correct me if I'm wrong, but we actually want to do right -1. Is that right? I think we want to do right -1, not just right here, because I think right is +1.
That sounds possible.
We'll find out.
We'll find out. All right, so there we go. That's that. So let's call this function up here. I'm going to do is above tile, and I'm going to drag out this tile block because I'm going to need it in a sec. And we'll go ahead and, whoa. No, don't go in there. Pull that out. Put that right there. Put that. Okay. All right. This is why it's beta, folks.
Boy.
We mentioned at the start, or if anybody else has joined in, like beta is, something that we just update and test as we please. It's not something that's actually released. So there will be bugs. If you lose your project in beta, that's kind of just the state of beta unless we say otherwise. So don't use beta unless.
Yeah. Okay. It looks like it is right. So I'm going to go ahead and change this to just be, oh, nope. Still need that integer divide though. There we go. All right. So these guys are getting dumped too, but unlike their unlucky meeple brethren up here, they're not getting dumped into the death spikes. Cool. Okay. Now, one thing is I made the conveyor belts faster than the meeples. So I'm holding right now. And these guys are just trying their best to avoid an untimely death. But that's not going to happen. So we'll have to change that. We're going to go ahead and make these guys. So the min move speed is 40. So we're going to go ahead and make this 35 for the conveyor belt speed. And so now if I react quickly, oh, I was like, I'll save all these meeples, but then I just made all the ones run into them. Oh no.
Oh,
Poor guys.
Is this the trolley problem?
Yeah, it's a probably problem. All right, cool. Well, cool. All right, we got a game. So, let's go ahead and do the last little bits of cleanup for this. So we need to actually make it so that we have a location for them to start, and we need to have a location where they are going, right? And then we can make some more fun stuff to put in here.
We could give it so they have to have swords so they can fight enemies, but then it's a very big danger if you fight the enemies because you might end up stabbing every other meeple in the back.
That just seems like that was always what would happen, Joey.
I mean, that's true, but like sometimes you got to make hard decisions like this.
That feels like a horrific commentary on something. I don't know what, but something. All right. So let's make a start location tile. While I'm doing this, I would like you guys to brainstorm other fun things we can put in this game in terms of like different tiles we can have. This is my start.
I mean, obviously,
me almost
slow
wonders
tiles.
if you just had a level full of hazards and you just had to survive for 30 seconds with as many meeples as possible. That would be very difficult, I think.
Okay, but what would some of those hazards be?
Falling spikes.
Falling spikes. Okay.
Like a sand pit. So you have to keep moving or else you sink.
That's a good one.
What if we did do exactly that and it was just like 30 seconds, but it was like ultimate chicken horse for one? Like, if you don't, Thomas, do you know that game? I forget.
I've heard
okay.
it,
Okay, so you know it's competitive multiplayer and everybody controls their own meeples. So it's just survive with as many as you can over 10 seconds and then add a hazard.
That'll be something.
One of these days, Joey, I promise we will actually do Ultimate Chicken Horse.
Okay, I'm glad.
Okay. So we're gonna go ahead and grab our meeple creation code and we're gonna put them all on our start tile. So this start tile is just this one up here, this guy. Oh, hey, look, they're all flying. They must be slightly within the tile map, I guess. Or I don't know. They're just broken. Oh, they're getting caught. They're getting created after the. I'm sorry, before the variables are being created. So, yeah, that's what was happening there. All right. Anyway. So when we create our meeples, we want to put them on top of our tile. So let's go ahead and make a variable. We're going to call this start tile. And this is going to, we're going to grab the array of all tiles locations, this one right here. And we're just going to get the first value out of this. We're just going to assume there's always just one in here. And we want to grab this. And we are going to spawn all of our guys around this. So let's go ahead and grab the property block and we will make this the Y, make this the X, and then we'll just add a random amount to this. So we're going to do -2 to 2. And we'll do the same thing for the Y because it'll probably look satisfying to have them fall at different speeds. Okay. There we go. Okay, so now we got all of our meeples starting together. Ah, death.
Can we make little parachutes for the meeples if they fall too far?
What do you think these parachutes are going to do?
I mean, just look pretty mainly, but also, I mean, they could slow it down slightly.
Okay, what I'm taking from this is it's a good idea to have accessories for meeples that we do at some point. And I'm with you there. I don't know if parachutes are the right call, but I want to give these meeples things to carry.
I mean, if only like 10% of the meeples had that, it would actually be funny then, because then you'd have some that are giga slow falling and some that are just normal speed.
God, that would be really tough if we gave them all different gravity also.
Yeah.
Anyway. All right. Okay. So this is all good. Let's make it so that when well, let's count the number of meeples that are still alive and always put it on screen. So we're going to go into extensions, and we're going to add Ricknell/arcade fancy text. And we'll go ahead and make this be meeple indicator. Use the geometric serif 7 font. Go. And inside of our on-game update, we're going to go ahead and set the text of this guy. To be, let's see, I don't remember if I can just put anything in there. Nope. I should change that. We're going to grab the length of the array of all sprites. Of kind. There we go. So now if I were to say sacrifice all these guys, there we go, down to 94 meeples. All right, 0 meeples. Okay, and after we do this, we want to set its position. So we're going to go ahead and set its position to be like in the top right, maybe. Because we're setting the right, we also have to subtract the width of our meeple indicator. Or no, we're setting the right, so we don't actually have to do that.
We shouldn't have to.
There we go. So there's our meeple indicator up in the top right. And if I kill a bunch of these guys off, death. Cool, all right. Well, there you go. Okay, well, I think that's gonna be it for today. We can start turning this to an actual game. So, all right, so the other kind of obstacles we talked about are falling spikes. I like that idea. So are those gonna be spikes that just constantly fall, or that like when you go under them, they start falling?
I was thinking when you go under them, but
all right,
we'll go either way.
I'm down with that. Or those annoying spinning bat things from Metroid. Joey, you know what those are called?
I do not know what those are called.
I wonder if anyone knows what those are called.
I'm gonna look it up. And
I did
then,
like the quicksand idea too.
right, so I feel like we kind of already have that with conveyor belts. What more do we have to do beyond that?
So the quicksand is one that forces you to move, though, right? Because it's like if the
It's
meeple is
free.
just standing in the quicksand, it'll fall down over 10 seconds.
I
Mhm.
see.
So it's like the conveyor belt will like move you backwards, it'll slow you down, sure. But this one is like you can choose to stand there, but if you don't actively participate, you're gonna die.
Is there any reason to do that above the classic falling block thing, where once you're on top of something, we make it shake and then the block falls?
This way the meeples have different. The ones you just entered will sync over the same amount of time versus the ones who have been in there for 10 seconds.
True.
Yeah.
Is it at all when you have quicksand? I expect it to hinder your jumping and movement.
I assume slowing down at least. I'm like horizontal, but jumping too. Yeah, that makes sense.
Oh, okay. All right. I like it. We can do that.
Falling block is also, its own thing though, so that's also a good one.
Yeah, you're right. These don't need to be mutually exclusive. Especially when some of the meeples get across and the other meeples are like stranded behind.
Yeah, a flamethrower that turns on and off.
Okay, sure.
And we gotta fry them up.
A giant meeple eater that chases you.
I do have an
Alright.
important question. Will each hazard have a different ghosts come out of it?
No, we're just gonna. I think it's more impactful to have the same ghost all over places.
You think so? You don't
Yeah.
think like a little ghost with some burn scorch marks, or a ghost with like, I don't know, whatever sand?
Oh my.
So I don't think we have enough pixels for that to read.
That's true.
And just like the Pikmin ghosts, I feel like it's just like it's like an iconic image of just
It's
one
like,
of those
yeah.
Pikmin ghosts coming up. I
You
feel like
want it
having
burnt
one
into your mind, yeah.
one icon to represent a dead meeple makes a bit more sense.
Yeah, they all become one in the end.
Yeah, I think it would also be fun to spawn meeples in different locations. So right now we're spawning them all in the same spot. So having like 10 meeples spawn over here and over here and over here, and then you kind of have to puzzle out how you're gonna get these guys, down.
Yeah. Do
will
we
be
not
fun.
have I guess we just did random spawn at the start and then we replaced it.
Yeah. All right, cool. Well, there's plenty of stuff for us to add to this game. So we'll keep working on it on Wednesday. Programming reminder. So at the end of this week, we will be done streaming until the new year. I'll be back on the 2nd, which I think is a Thursday. Someone have a calendar?
It is indeed a Thursday.
Right. So we'll have a stream on that Friday, on the 3rd. But we will have no streams until the 3rd after this Friday. But while you can't enjoy our wonderful streams, you can still contribute to the game jam. So there's game jam going on right now. You can find all the details for it on the forum. It's cozy game themed, so perfect for the season. And make a game for it. And as always, when we get back, we're going to judge all of those games. We're going to choose winners, and we will play all of our winners and honorable mentions on the stream, and they will also go on the MakeCode homepage. So if you want your game on the MakeCode homepage, do it. It'll be fun. And that's it. I'm Richard at Richard on the MakeCode forum.
I'm Joe at J1 on the MakeCode forum.
And I'm Thomas at Sparks on the MakeCode forum.
And we will see you on Wednesday. Bye.